Yeah. I think when they're young, they want to get married. When they get...
Morning, it's January
29th.
30th. Wednesday, Parshas Yisro. Anything exciting happened this week's Parsha, you think?
The meeting of Yitro with Moshe.
Well, that was very exciting. There's something not so exciting. Hashem gave the Torah. The Ten Commandments. Of course, I'm just joking. It's the most important Parsha in the Torah.
Why Yitro had such a zechut to that the Ten Commandments should be in his parasha? A goy.
Well, it's a goy that became a Jew. And the Gemara says that Mokum Shabal Tshuva Amdin Tzadikim Ein Amdin. Places where people who do tshuva, or maybe even converts, they're in a very high level.
He was in a position and a mood that I think everybody would get. If you have a son-in-law,
you have a son-in-law like a Moshe, then anybody would become Jewish. Okay, that's a very good observation. Anyway, the first thing I want to comment on is that it says, "Vayishma Yisro kol midyan chosan Moshe." He heard, the father-in-law of Moshe heard what. Eiskol Asher Osa Elokim LeMoshe LeYisrael. Everything that God did to Moshe and Yisrael. So the commentaries ask a question: how come it uses the name of Hashem, which is Elokim, which is Midas Hadin? We know Hashem has 72 names. The two most popular ones are Elokim and Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. And Elokim is Midas Hadin, with judgment, more harsh, severe, and
what he did to Egyptians.
So, but it doesn't say that. It says Es Kol Asher Osa Elokim LeMoshe LeYisrael.
For Moshe.
It says to Moshe.
I know, but that actually means for Moshe. For Moshe and Ben
All right. So, of course, that's the
common sense.
That's the common answer, and that makes the most sense, and that's probably the Pasha, the Pshat. But the Beis HaLevi, I think. Beis HaLevi was the Rabbi Soloveitchik, the father of Rabbi Yoshe, or was he the Yoshe? I don't know. Anyway, the Beis HaLevi says that he did it harshly to Moshe because he was judging Moshe a little severe. Why? Because as we know that, before I give you the answer, let's look at the next pasuk. The next pasuk says, "Vayikach Yisro chosem Moshe," and Yisro. Let me read it in English. And Yisro, the father of Moses, took Tzipporah. Who's Tzipporah?
Moshe's wife.
As Ashes Moshe, the wife of Moshe. Achar shilucheho, after he sent her away. What does that mean? After he sent her away. Were you up last night worrying about this? What the Torah meant? What it means? Achar shilucheho.
Achar shilucheho. They came halfway, and Moshe did not want it that another slave go to Egypt.
Right. So Rashi talks about it, but also we know that Moshe divorced his wife. And then he took her back. He sent her away and he took her back.
Maybe Moshe didn't have could put it that way, that Moshe didn't have 100% emunah, that when taking his wife to Egypt, something might not happen. Something right might not happen.
All right.
So maybe he had a lack of emunah.
Could be that was it, but also it was wrong for him. Now we know you're a Cohen, Benny, right? You know if God forbid you would divorce your wife, you cannot remarry her.
I don't want it.
Okay? So So the truth of the matter is, Moshe should have been a Kohen also. All of Avim should have been Kohanim. But Hashem punished Moshe and took away the Kohuna from him. And that turned out to be a good thing for him at the end, because he was not a Kohen anymore, he was able to take back his own wife. So this is the relationship between these two psukim. It says that Moshe heard what Yisro heard, what Elokim, what God judged Moshe. God judged Moshe and took away his kahuna. Okay? And why was God upset at Moshe originally? Because Moshe did not want to go to Egypt and take out the Jews. He said, he told Hashem, I don't want to. I can't talk. Shlach no biyatishlach. Send it with somebody else. He was hesitant. Now, he was hesitant because he was a very modest person and he just felt he was not of that caliber. But nevertheless, when God tells you to do something, you should do it. You know, I always say, who had the bigger nisayon? Who had the bigger test? Avram Avinu or Yitzchak? Taking him to slaughter. So did Avram Avinu have the greater test that he had to go slaughter his son, or did Yitzchak have a greater nisayon that he knows he's going to be slaughtered? They both went willingly. Okay, so who had the bigger test? What do you think?
Abraham.
So most people say Avram. Binyamin ben Yaakov says Avram. But I always say no. For Avram, it was really no test. Why? Because God told him to do something. And if God tells you to do something, wouldn't anybody in the world do it? If you knew for a fact that God was right here in front of you,
still a father cannot slaughter.
But Hashem tells you to do it. I can't imagine. I mean, of course, it would be in a way sad. But can you imagine God appears to you and tells you to go do something, and you think it's the worst thing in the world, but God told it to you? Not.
That's how Hashem implemented to our brain that we should be loving, caring of our children.
Right. So the answer obviously is Avram, because Avram went against nature in the most severe way, to kill your own child. Nevertheless, it's still, Hashem tells you to do something. For us, we know Hashem tells us to do mitzvahs and everything, but we don't see Hashem and we don't feel it. We're doing it because we were raised that way and we studied that way. Maybe we do it because we're scared of a punishment. I am not at the madrega that I ever did any mitzvah in my life because Hashem told me to do it, and I'm feeling it, and it's a very high level.
Yeah.
But Hashem spoke to Moshe upon him face to face, so to speak. I mean, of course, we can't put a face to God, but and Hashem told him to go to Paro, and Moshe declined, so Hashem was upset, and then he came back and he complained because after he went the first time, they took away the straw, so they couldn't make the bricks. And he told Hashem, look what you did, you made it worse for the people. So Hashem took away from him the kahuna, and he gave it to his older brother, which maybe should have had it in the first place. So because of that, it turned out to be a good thing. We had the Gemara says in many places, Kol Mada over the Rahman al of it. Everything God does, He does for good. We may not see it, but it is for good. It's accepted that it's for good. Sometimes at the end we see that it is for good. The Lahavdil have no comparison, but the creator of peanuts, his name was Charles Schultz. He had a saying. He says at the end, everything works out. And if something didn't work out yet, it means it's not the end. Because at the end, everything works out. At the end, everybody will see, hopefully in this world, that everything that they did, good morning, and everything is for the good. So this turned out to be something for the good, that Moshe was able to take back his wife Tzipporah, and that's the relationship between these two psukim. Yes.
didn't want to be with his wife because he was constantly with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and you weren't supposed to have relationship.
Yeah, he felt yeah, especially,
he wants to be clean all the time.
Yeah, he wants to be clean all the time and everything. Yeah, so.
Really, it doesn't say in the Torah. Shiluchei sent doesn't mean divorcing.
After he sent her away, it doesn't say. Nevertheless, we know that he did, and then he took her back. By the way, he was not the first one to do that. Avram Avinu did the same thing.
But he sent
Hagar away, and then he took her back also, and he had many children. It's interesting that we never really hear about any of the Torah lists all the children, but we never really find out what happened to any of his children, grandchildren, and so on and so forth.
He took her back twice.
Took her back twice.
Also?
What? Keturah.
She Keturah.
Right. So, somebody once pointed out to me something that it says V'shem ha'echad Eliezer, and the first name, it doesn't say V'shem beno echad Eliezer. It says V'shem ha'echad. The first name is Eliezer, and somebody pointed out to me that the first name ever in the whole Talmud Bavli, in the whole Torah Shebaal Peh, is Rabbi Eliezer. Sechta Brachas starts off Me'emisai Karnes Shema. From when can you start saying shit? Rabbi Eliezer Oimer Mishor Shakanam Nechnem Lechel Truma. So the first name mentioned is Eliezer. So here is the proof of it. It's amazing how you can look and find and see things. First name in the Shas, in Talmud Bavli, in Torah Shebaal Peh. If you take out a Masechta Brachas, volume 1, page 2, line 3, you'll see Rabbi Eliezer. And
in the middle of the sentence?
No, it says. Oh, yeah, no, it's the...
exactly.
I had I knew this rabbi. He was actually his granddaughter and my daughter were stepsisters. His name was Rabbi Tibor Stern. He lived in Miami Beach, originally chief rabbi of Mexico. He was an Hungarian rabbi who was, in my opinion, that I've met in my life, the most amazing, brilliant Talmid Chacham that I've ever met. And he would get up to speak, Shabbos and Shul, and somebody would ask him, not prepared, somebody would ask him a question, he would speak, and somebody asked him a question, and then he would go, I'll give you the answer. The answer is in Masechta Sanhedrin. He'd go like this, Masechta Sanhedrin, Daf, Samach Gimel Amud Beis, 7th line. That's the way he would go. And he would know exactly where it was. He was just a brilliant person.
Speaks English?
He spoke English fluently. He was an amazing businessman. He was actually the Rav Machshir of Hebrew National. He gave the hashgacha for Hebrew National. And most mainstream from people do not eat really Hebrew National. And but he told everyone and that it's the most kosher company there is. He says it's the only company. If you want to go to any other planet,
Gilad or kosher?
Excuse me?
Hebrew National. Gilad kosher?
It's not glad. It's not glad. But he said that the plant is more kosher than any other one. You don't need an appointment. You can come in with your rabbi anytime, any place. Anyone can come in unannounced and go through the plant. They had an open door policy. But that's how confident they were that they were to the strictest standard.
Still the same.
Oh, no, he died already, so I don't know who took it over.
Is it really reliable?
There's no question in my mind that it's kosher, because he would not give the hashgacha if it wasn't kosher.
He would eat it himself.
So he didn't eat it himself. So the reason he didn't eat it himself, because he wanted, at the same time he wanted to give out a message. See, if he himself would start eating Hebrew National, he felt that people would, in their minds, lower their standards of kashrus, and they would now start eating other things, which some people do give hashgacha to. He had his own reasoning why he didn't eat it himself, but it was certainly kosher. I don't know if Hebrew National actually did any meat. I think they just did poultry, chicken. I don't know if Hebrew
Hot dogs.
Oh, they do hot dogs. You're right. They do hot dogs.
They are famous with
Yeah, a higher
I
authority.
don't do any chicken.
Yeah. What?
I don't think they do any chicken.
They would do hot dogs.
Hebrew National?
Or meat, or beef.
Oh, yeah? Okay, maybe you're right.
But let's say you would eat.
No, I wouldn't eat, because the same reason that coming, being a yeshiva.
One second. If it's not glad, so if it's not glad, there might be a problem.
Okay, first of all, the whole business of glat today is
out?
It really doesn't apply anymore. But we're just doing it anyway. But the
they say they check the lungs. There should be no hole or
No,
something.
they do that for all kosher.
They
don't
do it
kosher.
everything. Just like there's no such thing as non-kosher milk in America. Every milk in America is kosher.
So what's the difference now? Right now, what's the?
It's just like it's an extra chumrah, I guess. Okay, we have to start davening because I think people are going to get upset.
The base
Have a good day.
The base for glad kosher